Hey everyone, my name is Wedge. The end of December is always a time to celebrate the holidays with friends and family. It's also a time when Wizards usually releases something ridiculous from the next set. Well, this year was no different. They straight up confirmed all of the expeditions being printed in Oath of the Gatewatch. Yeah, all of them. I know, I'm excited too. Some of these cards, they are going to make you pee yourself. No joke. Without further ado, let's get our expedition on. We'll begin with a cycle. Battle for Zendikar brought us 2.5 cycles worth of expeditions. This time around there's only one cycle, but man, it's a doozy. Say hello to the Filter Lands. That's right, the Shadowmoor Eventide cycle is back and looking gorgeous. For those who don't know, this is a set of 10 2-color lands that allow you to spend 1 color of mana to get back a combination of 2 colors. It's pretty sweet. Another thing you'll want to pay attention to, check out that colorless symbol. Yeah, these add legit colorless mana, really integrating that new symbol. I like it. The Filter Lands being printed is a pretty sweet deal. While some of you probably haven't heard about these lands, they are very popular in both Commander and sometimes in Modern. In the case of Twilight Mire, it's basically a staple in that format. Their popularity is reflected in their price. While Graven Cairns is a fair $7, something like the Twilight Mire that we just talked about, yeah, that's over $30, and you can expect it to go up a bit more with Modern Season right around the corner. Now, while the expeditions obviously won't tank the price of any of these cards, it does give some sweet incentive to open Oath packs. There's awesome value in this cycle. Probably the best cycle they could print outside of the original Dual Lands. Knocked it out of the park here. It's nice work. Speaking of nice work, the rest of the expeditions in Oath of the Gatewatch is basically From the Vault Realms 2.0, a collection of very popular and highly played cards for the most part, all with new art, all with new colorless symbols. Let's go over them one by one and have a collective heart attack as we realize just how valuable these are going to be. We'll begin slow. Dust Bowl is getting an expedition makeover, maybe a card you didn't expect, but it does see play in Commander, and interestingly enough, Jeskai Stoneblade in Legacy. You know how much Eternal players love their foils? It was only printed once in Mercadian Masks, and the foil version of that is over $50, so value. Dust Bowl wasn't that exciting, I admit. You know what is exciting? Boom! Wasteland. Yeah, the Legacy and Vintage staple is getting a sick makeover as an expedition. It looks gloomy as all heck and I love it. This could easily be the most expensive expedition of them all. The card's normal version hovers around $60 to $70 right now. There are 2 foil versions, both of them cost over $200 to get your hands on. Again, Eternal players love their foils. This is going to be no different. I can see Wasteland challenging Scalding Tarn for the King of Expeditions. Granted, there are a few other lands I'll talk about in a bit that also might challenge the throne. Wasteland is one of them. Oh, baby. Let's kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Eye of Ugin and Tectonic Edge are expeditions. Now, I understand both of their inclusions. Immersion is a thing. Eye of Ugin because Eldrazi, and Tectonic Edge because, well, everything is being destroyed and shifted and changed. I get it, I do. It just so happens that these are the 2 least valuable expeditions of the upcoming set. Not that you'll be sad if you get them, because you won't, but still, this is the bottom of the barrel. It's a pretty bottom, I like, especially the Eye of Ugin. It's looking good in foil for sure. Want another crazy expedition? Here you go, Ancient Tomb. I won't lie, that double colorless mana symbol is putting me on tilt a little bit, but besides that, holy butts, that art is beautiful. We already touched on this card in a previous video, but it's worth it to remind you that it's getting a sweet reprint that will assuredly be worth a crap ton of money. Legacy and Vintage players, those foils, so much value. Besides Ancient Tomb, there's only one other expedition that's been officially released up to this point. That's Forbidden Orchard. We've already covered this card, but I'll tell you the same thing I told you in the last video about expeditions. It's gorgeous, it's super gorgeous, it's played in Vintage and Oath of Druid, so it has value there. This is definitely going to be an expedition that players want. It's so pretty, can't really get over that. We've got 4 expeditions left. Let's talk about my absolute favorite one now. Strip Mine is back and looking sweet. For those of you who don't know, Strip Mine is a card that hasn't been printed since, what, 4th edition? Except in a From the Vaults, of course, where it's worth $30, even with that terrible foiling process. This time around, you can bet this is going to fetch a pretty penny, since it's basically every Vintage deck ever that wants to do anything ever. It is restricted in Vintage, but no one's going to care. Strip Mine could be one of the most expensive expeditions out there. I wouldn't be surprised if it's at least a couple hundred. Great card to print here. Next up is a Modern and Legacy staple that is also competing for most expensive expedition ever. Horizon Canopy is back, and there's no way this won't be like winning the lottery when someone opens it. Again, staple in Modern and Legacy, this card non-foil is $60 right now due to its one printing in Future Sight. If you want a foil Horizon Canopy, you're looking at $200 easily. That's the making of an expensive foil 4 card. You can bet that if someone pulls this, it'll be like pulling a Scalding Tarn all over again. Maybe not exactly like that, but you get what I mean. It's lots of hype. Core Haven is the second to last expedition and one of the most out of place cards in the set. Not that Core Haven isn't awesome and totally deserves a foil reprint, cause it does since the foil version is $40, but the reason it's that expensive is more because of lack of supply than anything else. Granted, it is played pretty extensively in Commander, it isn't a staple in any other constructed format. I like Core Haven as a nod to the Commander/casual player, and I'm sure it'll be worth near $75 to $100, but it is more out of place than most other cards here, at least for playability. Lore-wise, see what you did, Wizards. I see what you did. This brings us to our last expedition. Mana Confluence is back, and honestly, looking like one of the coolest expeditions ever made. Those colors in that art, awesome. Mana Confluence may not be the most expensive card, especially since rotating, but it sees play in a lot of formats. Amulet Bloom in Modern loves it, any Dredge deck ever plays it, in Legacy and Vintage of course, and you can imagine how many Commander decks love the card. It hasn't recovered from rotating out of Standard, but it does see play, and with this artwork I think Mana Confluence is going to be more expensive than players think. I love it, one of my favorite expeditions in the cycle. Well, that's going to do it. All of the expeditions in the upcoming set. Some things you need to know. Just like Battle for Zendikar, these are going to be about as rare as a foil mythic rare, so basically one per case or one per 6 boxes. Also, if you pull one of these in a draft, you can use it in your draft deck, but you cannot use them in Standard unless they're already printed in a Standard legal set, which none of these are, so no expeditions from Oath and Standard. None of them. Just remember that. What do you think about the suite of expeditions set before us for Oath of the Gatewatch? Are you excited to open product? Which cards are you most excited about, and which expeditions do you want to open the most? Gotta say, pretty partial to that strip mine. Dang, I want a lot of those. Again, let me know what you think in the comments, and be sure to tune in next week for Oath of the Gatewatch spoilers. They start Monday, so get hyped as all heck. As always, subscribe for the latest and most reliable Oath of the Gatewatch spoiler information you could ever need. This is the Mana Source. I'm Wedge. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Wow.